Welcome to another episode of Mundelein Minute. This is season 3, episode whatever it is up there because I have lost track. Before we get started, this is my house, my cameras, my microphones, my everything. No taxpayer dollars are used in the creation or distribution of this podcast. Also, my name is Eric Schwenk. I am a trustee in the Village of Mundelein. And who are you?
Also, I'm Carol Lambert. I'm also a trustee in the Village of Mundelein.
Awesome. So today we are talking about two meetings. The first is the Committee of the Whole meeting. The second is the Village Board meeting. Both meetings were on February 13th. And we're recapping a couple of days late because of the sickness that ran through my house. Don't wish that upon anybody. So let's kick it off with the Committee of the Whole and
State of the Village.
State of the Village address. So this was a slightly different presentation from last year. And the mayor said he was going to really try to get this done faster than last year.
He did, I think.
And he did 3 minutes faster. So we had 3 minutes of public commentary for Q&A at the end. It went a little over. It wasn't just 3 minutes. So first up, he mentioned some top 10. He always does a top 10 list like Letterman. And
Which I feel like that reference is going to get old and no one's going to get it eventually.
Yeah. I mean, younger generation definitely is not Letterman.
They're going to be like, Letterman? Who's that?
Who?
Yeah, what?
So his first was Ivanhoe Village and the 740 acres.
What? I've never heard of this.
Yeah, right. 25-year development plan, and that it would bring a roughly 30% population increase to the village, with 1,277 new homes, along with light industrial up towards the northern end on Peterson, and retail. Yeah, retail throughout. Yep. Next up was density, and just bringing more people per acre, and that
why you do
density.
That? Why do you do that, Eric?
We don't have time.
Are you familiar with this?
We don't have time in this 30-minute podcast. I got books if you want to read them, all about density and how it creates a better tax increment per acre than single-family homes, and we have to pay for village infrastructure in the long run, and we can't do that with the single-family home
traditional subdivision style.
Traditional,
cul-de-sac,
20th of an acre lots, quarter-acre lots. It just doesn't work. Non-residential development, talked about Bridgeport, which is that very large facility off 6083. It's 320,000 square feet, waiting for that to open. There was just a lot of talk about different developments, non-residential developments.
They highlighted the one on Allenson, which is now half full.
Half full.
We have a tenant that we stole from Libertyville.
And that's a good thing, so it's not half empty.
Right.
It's half full now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, Libertyville. But you know what I thought was really interesting? I don't know if you're going to get there yet, but he talked about businesses that have opened this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
25, roughly, almost 25 businesses.
I didn't write down a full number, but there was a list.
I tried to count really quick.
Yeah.
And I counted 22, but I maybe missed while I was trying to count.
Yeah, I wrote down some of the spaces that were filled, like that Venture One building.
Yes.
The LA Fitness, Barn XO took over a
big
building
empty property. Yeah.
that had been vacant for a long time, that kind of stuff. And that our occupancy, we have 320,000 square feet of new construction this year.
Yes.
And we demoed 288,000 square feet of old construction. Here's one of our old kitties here.
Hi, Isabel. Which was mostly Oak Creek, I'm assuming.
Oh, hi. You joining the podcast too?
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Oak Creek was a lot of that space. Yeah.
So took stuff that was like obsolete use and got rid of it, made more.
So that was number 5 on his list, was occupancy data, and that we are 91% occupied in commercial space. And we're approaching, that's a number that's too high.
Yeah.
We need to have some flexibility to welcome new people, new businesses. Number 6 was fiscal responsibility, that we have stable debt payments, stable number of employees throughout the village that are reserves.
A decrease in the number of employees from previous.
From 2008. Yeah, we were down
crazy to hear about.
10, 15 employees, even though we've grown the village.
Right, but lean operations and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah, and that it's maintaining that way. Our reserves, that we are at 46% at the end of this fiscal year is our goal. That's what we're looking at. We're at 42% of our operating budget, and our overall goal from the village board perspective is 50%.
Right.
And that's a lesson we learned during the pandemic, that we need to save 50% of our annual operating expenses, just because the unforeseen may occur. Yep. So infrastructure, we added $2.1 million more than last year into our road and bridge fund. And that's doesn't include numbers that we added in previous years.
Right,
So
so
since
that's
we
incremental
joined the
this year,
board,
yep.
it's gone up. Don't quote me on this. 4 or 5 million more. It's a much higher number, and we're
Why didn't you tell me what you're going to talk about? We could have been more prepared.
Sorry. Yeah. Anyways, infrastructure spending, good. It's going up. That's streets, curbs,
Yeah,
streets, gutters.
Curbs, gutters.
Yep. And stuff. Good stuff. Big program, not the big grant, the big program.
Oh, right. Because you don't like
Because it'd be redundant.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. So since 2015, 65 businesses have received $605,000, and that's the village's portion. The businesses paid their portion was $5.5 million in community
That is
investments.
insane, the ratio.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Crazy.
Yeah, and no, not all of that was Bill's.
Stop it.
That was
No.
beautiful back there.
It is pretty back there. I'm ready for summer for it.
Yeah, I know. Mundelein Community Days was number 9, and that is talking about it's moving. So
Temporarily for a year.
1 year.
Yes.
And the mayor showed what the layout's going to look like. It's going to be at the Village Plaza Circle area in that vacant land using the Metro parking lot.
Parade's going to be backwards.
The parade's backwards.
That'll be weird.
I didn't not get clarification if we have to walk it backwards or
We
if it
should.
just runs backwards.
Actually, if we get reelected, we should vow to walk it backwards.
You can do that.
I got it.
And then number 10 was community events, just upcoming events throughout the village. The different route for the bicycle race that was talked about.
Right, it's
The Winterfest dates are to be determined, but that was a success last year. It's coming back
Makes me
this
happy,
year.
yep.
Farmers Market is moving to Saturday at the parking lot.
I love that it's Saturday.
Yeah, me
I just
too.
have
Saturday
this vision
morning.
of what my Saturday mornings are going to look like. With
Yeah,
3
right?
kids, it's never going to look like that. But we have a vision of it.
Yeah.
3 kids, one being an infant.
It looks beautiful in
really
your
good
head.
in my
yeah.
head.
Yeah, exactly.
Most likely it'll be screaming and meltdowns, but it looks good.
Right.
Got it.
So there was also some talk about different departments. I didn't write down all of that data. He kind of went quickly because
He
we were
did go
towards
quickly,
the end. But some highlights, the fire department has gone to their no idling policy
Yeah.
and reconfirmed on that. And they have saved 797 gallons of diesel fuel, which is
That's crazy.
a lot of fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their calls are up 5.8% this year.
Every time we see the chief, literally every time we see him, how's
Yeah.
it going, chief? Busier than ever.
Yeah.
Busier than ever. It is crazy out there. Busier than ever. Drive safe, okay? Drive safe. Literally every time you see him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. So that was it. There was a couple of Q&As from, we had a good turnout. There was a lot of our commission and committee members were in the audience, and that's always good to see.
Somebody asked about impact fees,
Impact fees for the school districts.
and I was like, because that's like been my thing to like focus on. I was like,
Yeah.
let me answer.
Yeah.
But about if the school districts get impact fees from developments, and the answer is yes.
Yes. Yes. So does the village.
So does the village.
Yeah.
So do the other taxing bodies.
Yeah. So does the park
If everyone
district. So
wants,
does
if
the
anyone
library.
ever wants to talk to impact fees, hit me up. We'll have a conversation about it.
I recommend coffee. Keep you awake.
Or wine, something that will entertain you because.
So that was the committee of the whole. After that, we took a 5-minute break that lasted 15 minutes. And I was in the back grabbing a bite to eat, and we were joking around about how a 5-minute break between meetings is never a 5-minute
No.
break, and it's always 12 to 15 minutes. But
That's okay,
we
whatever.
try. So the village board meeting. If you're keeping track, it's village board meeting number 3,270, and we started about 15 minutes late. Did the Pledge of Allegiance, the approval of minutes. During public commentary, Margaret Booth spoke about the noise ordinance and public
definitions.
assembly.
Definitions of public assembly being different.
Yep.
Good
catch.
eyes.
Yep, absolutely. Good catch. So we struck that language out of the final ordinance and moved forward, but I'm glad that she brought that forward. And even staff spoke during the presentation about that was not intended.
Not the intentional, but
Yeah.
didn't realize that there was other definitions of
Right.
public assembly out there.
Yeah. Ordinances are a very cumbersome and large volume of
Yes.
of
Yes. Correct.
paperwork. Yeah. So let's see. Then we had a presentation about noise ordinance, and this is something
This is
that's
a topic that's come up off and on for probably 3 years now.
Yeah.
So we previously did not have one. So there was nothing that the police could do if you were called, if they were called to a complaint.
Yeah,
Basically.
they could just ask
They
you
could just say like, hey, turn it down.
Yeah, and they would say if they cited people, it was under disorderly conduct.
Yeah.
And the deputy chief Seeley, commented about how that doesn't always stand up in court. The judges don't always agree with that definition under the law.
Right. Yeah.
And it doesn't always stand up. So you go through this entire process. It's lengthy and it costs a lot of money
For no reason.
for it to get tossed out. So this is giving the police department a little more teeth when it comes to noise ordinance violations, which
Can we just clarify that we're not going to be like going out there and like hunting people down for this?
and I literally asked that during the meeting. We're not having police officers out there leaning out of the car with a microphone.
With their decibel reader.
Right. This is not what that's for. This is for service calls, complaints that are received through the dispatch center. When an officer comes out, they can now go to the property line and register a decibel reading.
I should have asked the chief this, but how are they going to respond to the coyotes? Sorry.
Really?
Mine are so loud. That's the only thing I hear are coyotes all night.
I mean, they could get cited too, I guess.
They should.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm done now.
Sure it's not a werewolf?
Stop.
So there was no public hearings during the mayor's report. We did a meeting call for the annual commission report. So it's a 30-minute meeting where the commissions come before the board and give us
a report.
An annual report. Commission appointment, Nancy Burton was appointed to the Planning and Zoning Commission. She was sworn in.
Yep.
That was awesome. The ad hoc police chief recruitment, that's your department.
That's me.
Do your thing.
So our police chief has decided to retire. No drama there or anything. And we appointed a smaller committee to review applicants. So it's me, Trustee Capachuela, the mayor, Eric Gunther, and then Ray Semple, because he's the former public safety chair. So a member of the public.
So he's our resident
member of the community, member of the public,
Yeah.
sorry. Whatever, same thing. And we will be meeting to discuss the applicants. We've received the applications right now. The process is we vet them, we narrow them down, then they get a questionnaire, then we do interviews. And hopefully this will be a quick, painless process. So we'll see. It's just starting.
Yep. All right. So
whoever we do hire will have some big shoes to fill from Eric and John. So
right. Oh yeah. Our
yeah.
couple of past chiefs have been pretty awesome.
Ew, I would never say that out loud.
Oh, that's
I'm
true.
just kidding. They're
He
both
doesn't
great.
watch it. He won't.
He doesn't watch it.
Next up, we appointed an IRMA delegate. So this is a delegate to the Intergovernmental Risk Management Agency.
Are we required to do this?
We have somebody that, and it was our previous finance director.
So we just changed it over.
So now we changed it over to our current finance director. Yep.
Bookkeeping. Or like just cleaning up,
It's
basically.
So the village office use agreement. So we rented some space out to AARP to use some of our upstairs space that's vacant.
For tax prep.
Yep. And then
They're usually at the library, but it's a good service if you guys need it. My mom uses it every year, raves about it. So
yeah, no, it's nice to have it. And then we also rented to KTR Media Group for a small space in Village Hall, and that's the company that actually does our recording of the videos and posts them online. Not this recording, the Village recording.
Yeah, this is being recorded by a tripod.
A tripod and a camera and microphones.
Yeah.
Yep. So trustee reports. Community and Economic Development was the DeBruler Senior Apartments. And this was a utility fee in lieu of burying power lines. So the original agreement was that the power lines in the area needed to be buried as part of the redevelopment.
Which is the goal of every redevelopment agreement that we sign.
We're trying to bury the power lines. It's better, it's safer, and it's prettier. It is
all of the above. Yes.
All of the above, a better option. And if work is being done, then we're going to aim for them to be buried.
Correct.
And this work came back more expensive than originally thought.
Shocking. Right now. Shocking.
Right. And this has also been in the works for a few years. There's been inflation. There's been cost rises.
Yeah.
I guess the original estimate was $100,000, and the work was estimated at closer to $300,000.
That's a big difference.
It is a big difference. And the developer is saying that it's threatening the project, and that if they don't get a variance here, a waiver, that they don't have to do this, that it's threatening the project. So that's what the village board had to decide. Do we allow them to keep the power lines above ground and he pays $100,000 that we can use later, or bury the power lines at the developer's cost? Yes.
My only caveat with this, wait, I lost my train of thought, was, oh wait, it's gone. Just gone.
Just gone. All right.
Oh my God. 30.
So
this is what 38 weeks pregnant looks like.
got it.
Gone.
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 So I can tell you my.
Oh, I know. Wait.
Go
Let me
ahead.
go.
Yep.
Is redoing East Hawley comes into factor into this.
Yes. Yeah. So, and that's what Eric Gunther, our village administrator, talked about. That was that the work that's going to come soon, we hope, for East Hawley
Via grant, hopefully soon.
Right. Will incorporate some of this work, and that the utility may end up paying for some of it to occur.
Right, because,
not us.
Right, because if you have a utility that's in an easement for construction, it then becomes
the utilities.
So weird.
On the flip side of it,
go ahead,
is that if we force the lines to be buried and we order the utility to do that work,
right,
we can pass on the cost of that to the residents of Mundelein through their bills.
Could. Hypothetically, maybe. All of this is sort of hypothetically.
And we've done that many times.
Right.
So I was the lone no on this because of that. I don't want the village taxpayers to have to subsidize what a developer already agreed to do.
Fair. And
go ahead.
This is where we work well together, even if we disagreed. I don't disagree with that. However, to me, this project was so important because of the type of project it was, and it's so needed in the county as a whole that I still voted for it. So, whatever, it passed.
Yes.
It passed, and I do think that this project needs to move forward because of the type that it is.
Sure. Yeah.
So, that... And guess what? We don't hate each other.
We don't hate each other.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Civility and civics. Who would have thunk?
Who would have thought?
So that's that. It passed. The developer will get the variance.
And he's not getting away with nothing.
He's not getting away with nothing. He's paying
still
$100,000.
paying $100,000, which is what he thought it was going to be in the first place. So there's
Yep.
just some complexities to everything, right? Like nothing is straightforward.
Correct.
Yeah.
So next up was the noise control ordinance. There wasn't really any more discussion because we had the presentation.
Other than that language change.
The language change,
Yes.
correct, yeah. And that passed. Public Works was the railroad overpass entryway signage. So two things here. The first, we approved basically a contract that says we can do work on the side of the railroad overpasses, and it's 100% our responsibility to do.
Right. Yes.
That's all that was, just that agreement. And then the next was a purchase order and the cost of the signs themselves.
Which I feel this money was left over from the big sign project, which we were not a part of.
Correct.
What is that, 6 years now? 5 years? 6 years?
It passed 5 years ago, roughly.
So I think
But it had been in the works for a while before that.
So there's money sitting in there from that project where we're not going to.
It was saved for something like this.
Well, it was also saved for signs that are probably not going to happen.
Yeah. Stepping back, there's signs that were proposed on Route 45
That can't happen.
That can't happen because there's either fuel lines underneath of them. The state throws a fit because it's too close to the road, or it's too far from the road, or the grass is too green, or the clouds in the sky aren't right. Like trying to get anything done through the state of Illinois can be a disaster. So
You said it.
I did. I mean, IDOT is
Awesome is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
Great.
Got it. Yeah. IDOT, I think right now, with some of the developers, when we talked with Oak Creek, was 2 to 3 years to get anything accomplished.
Yeah. Well, I always reference when people ask about things. Like we had a lady during the State of the Village ask about the overpass on 83.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to be like, it took them 9 months to open up the driveway outside of Starbucks onto 45.
Yeah.
So that puts things in perspective. To allow you to go straight out of the driveway onto 45 took like 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
Anyways.
After it was already built.
Correct.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
So
End of rant.
So the money's left over because the signs didn't get built because the state wouldn't agree to it.
There
That's
we
all.
go.
That's the much shorter.
So no new money being allocated.
Probably more politically correct answer than me going on a rant about IDOT. Okay, I'll move on. We rejected proposals.
You're not pregnant, so you have no excuse for this ranting.
That's true.
So-
That is true. I am not pregnant. We rejected proposals for a police station parking lot expansion.
Oh, it makes me so sad.
So we finally, after how many?
Eric said that it was like 20 years or something.
Yeah, and I've even joked about it on this podcast. This is like one of those projects that we keep punting, and we're like, we're going to do it next year, and then we keep punting it as a joke.
And we were like finally doing it, and the
And
costs
then-
are just astronomical.
Yeah, it came in way more than we could
Yeah.
possibly spend on it right now.
All
We don't
right.
have that budget amount, and guess what? We're not dipping into the reserves for it.
Yeah.
We're sticking to our budget.
Sorry, please.
Yep. So next was a letter of intent with Verigy LLC, and this is for guaranteed energy savings contract for power.
Yeah, this is also going green. This
Yes.
is assessing all the village properties for green initiatives
Correct.
through Vernon Township. So it's a
Yeah, it's a bigger project.
intergovernmental almost kind of agreement.
Right.
I guess.
Right. All right. Finance committee. $1,013,998.69. It's about average for our
Totally
bills. They usually range between 500,000 and 1.5 million, somewhere in there. I know that's a large range, but that seems to be about where they fall.
Yep.
There was nothing for public safety except for
The
blood drive
is today right now.
is like literally going on as we're filming this.
Coffee with the cop was yesterday.
Yep. And
That's it.
that's it. Building committee didn't have anything, nothing for transportation, infrastructure, or other reports. Omnibus, where we vote on everything that all at once because it should be
It's already
deemed
been
as
discussed, basically.
yeah, renewing contracts, that kind of stuff. So one was a purchase order for heart monitors. It's a yearly fee for those heart
Somebody
monitors.
asked me about that. What was going on? Why are we doing that? Is there a lot of stress at the fire department? And I was like, no. It's for the ambulances.
Yeah, it's for the ambulance and the fire trucks. Yeah. Water meters, new construction. Got to have more water meters to put on that new construction. Liquid sludge hauling for digester. That's
Just leave it at that.
that's the poop sludge. It's got to go somewhere. We got to pay to haul that off. Paid an attorney, IRMA annual contribution. So this is
Insurance.
that insurance amount, and a second one for insurance. That was it. We didn't have any executive session. And we were out of there at 7:52. That's what I wrote down for our ending time. So we started 15 minutes late, and
Not bad, not bad.
I mean it was roughly a 40-minute meeting.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
With some discussion, so that's good.
yeah, with good discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it for this
That's it.
Mundelein minute.
Drive safe.
Drive safe.
Per the fire chief.
Right, it's warming up.
Yeah.
It's going to be beautiful out the next few days.
Sun.
Enjoy it. I know.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
See you in the next episode.
Take
Bye.
care.